So after giving it some thought, I feel like I might be the world's worst best gamer. I can do so many different things in video games that look really cool, but at the same time, I'm also so bad. Now, just like everything else in life, if you want to get good at something, you have to practice, and sometimes that practice requires a whole lot of time. Or maybe not. Maybe you're just him. But since I am not him, every game or anything I've ever done in life had to take a whole lot of practice. When I first started to play God of War back in 2018, I would look at other people and just sit there and just get kind of jealous. Like, how do you possibly do that? There's no way. You gotta be cheating. But in reality, I just didn't put the time into it. So after putting a whole lot of time into that game, I realized that's all you really need to do. You need to sit there, stress yourself out if you really want to get good at anything. And it can be immensely frustrating. When it comes to this game, which is Devil May Cry 5, I had that exact same feeling. When I first started to play it, I loved the combat, the art style was really awesome, but then I started to unlock more combos, and that's where my brain just turned to mush. I looked at it like there's no way I'm going to sit here and learn all these things. I don't have the time, it's too hard, or whatever the excuses I came up with. Now, yes, sometimes a lot of people won't have the time. In order to get good at something, it's going to require a whole lot of practice. And that practice is usually muscle memory. So you're actually training your brain in order to get better. That being said, that does take a lot of time. It doesn't matter what game you're good at. Whenever you go to a different game, the timing is different, the moves are different, and just the animations and everything as a whole will be 100% different. So it's going to take a lot of time to get used to it. Now, I have a very good example of this when I went to play Sekiro. So I'm out here thinking that because of my God of War experience, that I spent all this time playing on Give Me God of War, that I could beat Sekiro no problem. And that was the biggest and stupidest thing I think I've ever said. I do have a playthrough on that if you're interested, and I also did a New Game Plus and then a Charmless run. Like I said, I like to challenge myself, and Sekiro is an amazing game to do that in. Now, we're not here to talk about Sekiro, we're here to talk about Devil May Cry. I like this game. I think it is really awesome. I think the amount of focus it requires and the muscle memory it takes is absolutely insane. This is one of those games where I'm going to basically say nobody. There might be that one person that proves me wrong, but nobody is going to get on this game and be a freaking god, okay? To remember certain things and get used to the timing, it's overwhelming. It sucks. And to sit there and practice it, it's fun, but it's also stressful. For example, I wanted to do a flawless run so bad, but I just kept choking, and you're going to see that I forced myself to restart from the checkpoint. Now, yes, this is the best way to get better at something. If you want to get better, you just keep doing it. You just literally throw your head against the wall. No matter how many times it's taken you, you just keep doing it. For me, whenever I play a game, I always have fun with it on my very first playthrough. I don't try to stress myself out. I don't restart from encounters. I just play it how it was intended to play. After that, though, I will go back to specific encounters or bosses that were either really hard or really fun and just fight them for several hours. I think this is the best way to build up the muscle memory because 99% of things in video games require timing. Maybe not for every video game, but for action games, that's pretty much what it comes down to. Parrying, blocking, dodging, perfect parrying, all that type of stuff. One thing I really like about video games, though, is that you don't have to do any of that. You can just play it. Play it to have fun, of course. And by doing that, of course, you will get better. But in order to get even better, you have to play it on the hardest difficulty. You have to understand certain mechanics and timing of things, which is, the best part about video games. I like that there is a huge skill gap. I like looking at other people play this game dude, the amount of time I need to put into this game to get good is awesome. And other people might view the same thing about me. That is an amazing feeling. To master something or get good at it to the point where people want to watch you play or talk about something, whatever it is, that's a great feeling. And that is why I like playing video games. Well, that and the fact that the last couple of years, the games that have came out have been remarkable. Usually when I talk about this, I list the same games, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. You have The Last of Us, God of War, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Sekiro, you have the Devil May 5 remake, you have the Resident Evil 4 remake, you have Ghost of Tsushima. There's so many different games and the list just goes on. It's really hard not to get lost in this. I don't know if I mentioned Red Dead, but that was one of those games where, again, something I didn't think I was gonna like. I played it a few times, it was really hard for me to get into it, and then one day I just sat there and I played it, and I'm so glad that I did. Single-handedly, one of the greatest gaming experiences I've ever had. Now, God of War is my favorite game. I put the most time into it. I love the combat. The voice acting is phenomenal. The one-shot camera angle is literally unlike anything else in any other video game. The cinematic experience you get while playing it is unbelievable. That being said, the experience I had while playing Red Dead for the first time and the second time is something I'll never forget. It is something that I sit here and wish I could get back. I put a lot of time into that game as well, and of course you start to lose the magic after some time. But dude, when you're in the middle of the campaign and you're invested into everything that's going on and you do not want the game to end, that is the best part of the entire game. I never wanted to play a game and never finish it. I didn't want to stop playing as John afterwards either. Like, everything about that game for me was just amazing. I would sit there and just walk around on my horse, go in stores, talk to people, do things that I would never in a million years do in any other video game. Even though Red Dead might be a super cinematic experience, that is something I also wanted to get good at. Whether it's just, you know, having my shot be better, me understanding where certain stuff was so I can just get through it a little bit smoother. I wanted to not miss. I wanted everything to look really smooth. Now again, that might sound really weird because it's Red Dead. There's not a huge skill gap when it comes to Red Dead, but you know, me wanting to get better at it is what helped me enjoy the game a little bit more. And that's how I just kind of play video games. When Spider-Man 2 drops, okay, I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna absolutely love it, not focus on anything else other than just playing the game. And then once I do that, that's when I start making videos. I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna try to make, you know, animations chain together, I'm gonna recognize certain patterns, I'm gonna use that, I'm gonna sit there and practice it. And that's how I'm going to enjoy the game. When it came to the previous Spider-Man, I did the exact same thing. Swinging around in Miles was amazing, the animations were awesome, and then you realize you're able to chain certain things together. That's the reason I really enjoy this game. Now, I have not put enough time in this game, to be honest. I have less than 30 hours in this game. That is actually nothing compared to all the other games I have played. When it comes to, for example, Red Dead, I have a few hundred hours into, and that's Red Dead. That's a single-player game. Never even touched the multiplayer. God of War 2018, like 500-600. Ragnarok has like 500-600. I can screenshot all this. I think Ragnarok is like around 400 or 500. Ghost of Tsushima, a few hours. Spider-Man. I'd say Call of Duty, but I'm just going to keep that on the down low because I don't want y'all knowing, because that is just absolutely disgusting. Now, for the few people that are going to be like, oh, you know, I bet you have more time. You might. You probably do. But if I were to say mine, you would be absolutely astonished, you know, because I don't even really post that much Call of Duty. Granted, I do have quite a few videos on my page. You know, my stuff is more focused on single-player games. Anyway, the whole point that I'm trying to make is that 25 hours into this game, because I did play a little bit on PS4, but I've never even made it to Dante, so I barely touched it, okay? And that was forever ago. The whole point I'm trying to make is that when I first started to play this game, I was like, dude, again, there's no way. Here I am, 20 hours in, you know, 25 hours in, and it has changed. My entire perspective on the game has changed. You don't have to dump thousands of hours into this game to get good, even though that was my initial thought. You don't have to dump in thousands of hours in any game to get good at it. And to be honest, good, I feel like, is a point of view. The things that I think are good might not be considered great to other people. The things that other people really enjoy, you know, I don't really think that is all that awesome. For example, like when people are comboing with Spider-Man and they're just hitting the same guy in the air like 50 plus times for like 50 seconds. It's like, yeah, that looks kind of cool. But for me, I'd rather take out an entire base in like 2 minutes. You know, like I want to be effective, fast, and flashy at the same time. I think those combos in the air are awesome. It's just not something that I prefer. I've talked about God of War before. As flawless as I like to be and as cinematic as I like to play, I've expressed this. I don't really mind taking any damage. There are so many ways to negate the animation or whatever it is, and I like to look at Kratos as this big beefy dude that will eat the damage in order to hit you back. You know, like you see it in cinematics sometimes. In Ghost of Tsushima, I've seen a lot of people actually wanting to be a real samurai, where I wanted to be an archer. I wanted to be the most lethal archer ever, and I didn't do it because I didn't see anyone else do it. It's just what I was pulled towards. It's just what I enjoyed. Anyway, that's going to do it for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was absolutely everywhere, and for that I apologize, but I did just kind of want to talk to you guys about games in general. Now, I mean this when I say this. I swear to God. Tell me what your favorite game is. Why it's your favorite game. What game you hate. What game you're good at. What game is your go-to whenever you're just trying to play casually. I am super interested in knowing these things, so list that down in the comment section. As always, I love y'all, and I hope you guys stay smooth. Peace.